Hello everyone. So from today onwards, we are going to solve total of 5,000 most expected questions for the JL, DL, and it will be very highly useful for the TGT, PGT, as well as IIT JAM Biotechnology also. So in this particular 5,000 questions, I will cover 5,000 questions from 10 chapters in case of a botany, and we will cover 11 chapters of zoology also. Okay, so we will do separately for the botany also as well as the zoology also, because most of the teachers who are preparing for the exam and most of the aspirants who are preparing for the exam, they are not getting enough amount of time to practice maximum number of questions. So that's why, to help all of you, so I'm solving top of 5,000 most expected questions, which covers the entire syllabus. Okay, so every single day we are solving 50 questions. So I will cover almost all the 10 units in botany as well as 11 units in the zoology. So I'm requesting all of you make use of all these questions. Without fail, try to watch every single day the entire lecture. By that you can cover 50 questions, which builds your confidence all the day throughout your preparation. Okay, now let's start. Try to understand, and I will explain you how to eliminate the options, how to analyze the given question. Everything we will discuss now. Okay, now let's start. The question number one: photosynthesis is important because the question says that the photosynthesis is an essential process. Why the photosynthesis is an essential process? Every student very commonly know that with the help of a photosynthesis only the plants are going to prepare its food. What the plant is going to do? Plant is going to reduce the carbon into glucose. You know very well. And you also know that, friends, when the plant is reducing the carbon into glucose, you know the plant is releasing oxygen as a end product or a byproduct or a waste product. So that is the oxygen what we are breathing. So what I can say that photosynthesis is a very important process because it is majorly involved in the preparation of the food. Most important, friends, it is involved in the release of the oxygen. So friends, what will be the answer now? And we know very well, in the photosynthesis we are not releasing any kind of a carbon dioxide. In the photosynthesis we are using the carbon dioxide. So option 3 is wrong. The correct answer is option 4, not to get confused with that. So the question number 2, I want you to remember the name of the scientist also compulsory, who first of all indicated that the water is the electron donor in the photosynthesis. You know, no friends, when there is a breakdown of water, we have discussed, there is a release of 2 protons, there is a release of 2 electrons, and there is a release of half molecular oxygen. And you know very well, from these 2 electrons can be accepted by water. Photosystem 2. Now the question says that which scientist, name the scientist who indicated that, I'm sorry, water is the true electron donor in the photosynthesis. Obviously, Eman is the name of the scientist. I want you to remember that compulsory. Next question. In photosynthesis, oxygen of the glucose comes from. See, most of the students are getting confused here. You know what most of the students will give the answer? In photosynthesis, oxygen of the glucose comes from means every student will give the answer as the water. That is not the question asked. You have to remember photosynthesis equation. Correct or not? So how you release the oxygen first of all? So you know, right, when the plant is fixing the carbon dioxide into glucose as a byproduct, as a end product, or as a waste product, plant release the oxygen. Is it or not? So what will be the answer? The answer will be the carbon dioxide. Not to get confused, friends. They're asking, in photosynthesis, oxygen of the glucose comes from. You have to remember the equation of the photosynthesis. By that you can easily answer the given question. So what will be the answer? Carbon dioxide, not to confuse. Now the question number 4 says that photosynthesis is, everyone know that photosynthesis is a combination of a physical process as well as the chemical process, which is a direct and straightforward question. The process of photosynthesis is, this is also very important question. In the today morning only, I have explained it to all of you friends. It is a reductive, endergonic, anabolic. You tell me why we call it as anabolic, friends. We call it is anabolic because plants are synthesizing the sugars. Correct or not? If the plant wants to synthesize the sugar, what the plant require? Plant require energy. So it is taking, plants are using the energy. That's why it is called endergonic. They're taking the energy. And in the morning class, I have explained you, the plants are going to reduce the carbon into glucose. Is it or not? That's why we can say it is a reductive, endergonic, and anabolic reaction. Easy to remember. Now, very important question. This is also, select the incorrect statement of the photosynthesis. You only look into the option 1. Plant require carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Of course, true. Because plants will take the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, then they will start the reduction. Plant convert energy coming from the sun into chemical energy. Obviously, right? The plant is going to convert the light energy into chemical energy. Option 2 is also right option. Option 3, chemical energy produced by the photosynthesis is used for the growth and the sustained of our biosphere. Of course, true, right? Try to understand the statement. Don't confuse with the third statement. Chemical energy produced by photosynthesis. What is chemical energy? Tell me, which is the ATP. Correct now? Which is the NADPH. That is only used for the growth. Is it or not? Because entire organisms are exclusively dependent on the energy precursors only. Option 3 is also right. Carbon dioxide is the source of oxygen evolved. That is wrong statement, right? Oxygen is evolved from the water molecule. Hence, friends, which is the incorrect statement? Number 4. Easy to answer. Question number 7. In the overall process of photosynthesis, the number of water molecules utilized and oxygen produced is. All the students without fail, remember friends, I am talking about in order to produce one glucose molecule. Every student remember, in order to produce one glucose molecule, we use 12 water molecule. Friends, we already discussed in the morning class. When you break down the one water molecule, how many protons you get? 2 protons you get, 2 electrons you get, half oxygen you get. So we break 12 water molecules. So friends, we are using 6 oxygen molecule. Hence the correct answer is the number 1, not to get confused with that. So question number 8 says that a photosynthetic organism which does not release oxygen, every one of you commonly know that, that is the green sulfur bacterium. Friends, green sulfur bacterium will perform what kind of a photosynthesis? You all people know that it will perform anoxygenic photosynthesis. What do you mean by the word anoxygenic photosynthesis, friends? Where the oxygen is not releasing as a byproduct. Instead of releasing oxygen as a byproduct, what it is going to release the byproduct, friends? It is releasing sulfur as the byproduct. Hence, the correct answer is what, friends? Option 2. Easy to remember. Now, very important question. What is, they're asking the question, what is true for photosynthesis? Both carbon dioxide and water. See, friends, once again, think and answer. They're asking which is true. This kind of questions are very logical statements. Both carbon dioxide and water are oxidized. Wrong, right? Morning class only I explained you. Friends, carbon will be reduced, water will be oxidized. Option 1 is wrong. Both carbon dioxide and water are reduced. Option 2 is wrong. Carbon dioxide is oxidized. That is also wrong. What is the correct statement? Carbon will be reduced, water will be oxidized. And that is water is getting breakdown. Hence, the correct answer is what, friends? Option 4. Next, one of the following is a photosynthetic non-sulfur bacterium. You read in the unit 1 also, which is a very straightforward question only. You have to remember that rhodospirillum. It is an exceptional bacteria. Remember it correctly. Next, choose the Correct statement. Not to get confused, friends. Absorption of blue light by chlorophyll B is once again, remember, friends, they are asking choose the correct statement. This also I have explained in the today's morning class. Absorption of blue light by chlorophyll B is more than the chlorophyll A. Of course, true, because chlorophyll A also absorb the blue light. There is no doubt about it. But chlorophyll B will absorb more. Chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B absorb blue light more than red light. That is also true statement. Absorption of red light by chlorophyll A is more than the chlorophyll B because chlorophyll A is abundantly found in the reaction center, right? Carotenoids does not absorb red light. In the morning class, I told you, right? Carotenoids absorb yellow light. Carotenoids absorb, I mean to say, orange, right? So what will be the answer? The answer will be the all of the above. Absolutely a true statement. The number 4 is. Not to get confused with that. Sorry, here carotenoids does not absorb the red light. That is true statement. Carotenoids are reflecting which light? Carotenoids are reflecting yellow light. Carotenoids are reflecting orange light. Now carotenoids absorb which light? It absorb green light. It absorb blue light. It never absorb red light. Never absorb yellow light. Never absorb orange color. They will reflect. Not to confuse, friends. Now, very important question, friends. Leaf pigments of any green plants can be separated by. In the morning class, I have explained you. It is called paper chromatography. So once we do the experiment of paper chromatography on the chromatogram, which is a paper, you can observe all the colors that can be given by that particular pigments. Always remember the name of the technique, never forget. Next, very important questions. All these are all. What is the question? The membranous system of grana is responsible. So we are going to study in the tomorrow class. It is trapping the light energy, but no ATP and NADPH formation. That is wrong, right? We know very well in the light reactions which are taking place on the thylakoid membrane, we have to produce the ATP and NADPH compulsory. So this statement is wrong. Trapping light energy and also used for fixation of carbon dioxide. No, we don't fix the carbon. We'll always reduce the carbon for ATP and NADPH formation, but not for light trapping. That is also wrong. See, friends, the membranous system, what they contain, you tell me. They contain antenna pigments. They contain reaction center. What is their function? They capture the light. Yes or no? They capture the light. And what they will do? They also involved in the production of NADPH. They also involved in the production of ATP. Never, ever get confused and never, ever forget. And so what will be the correct answer? The correct answer will be the 4. Very important, friends. Next, question number 14. It's also direct question. Why are dark reactions called so? I told you, right? Dark reaction occur in the day also. Dark reaction occurred in the night also. Why, friends? They require only energy. It doesn't matter whether the light is present or absent. It's not that all the matter. What is matter? Whether the energy is present or not. So that's why we can call they are light independent reactions. So the correct answer is they are not directly light driven. They are not light dependent. See, friends, not to get confused between the one second, something wrong we have given here. Yeah. Now, don't get confused between the option 2 and option 3. They are not light dependent. That is a true point. At the same time, they can also give the statement that they are light independent. Of course, that statement is also true statement only. But they are not light dependent means it doesn't mean that they are occurring only in the dark. So that is also a correct statement you have to remember. That's why it is a true statement, but not accurate, not most appropriate statement. They are not directly light driven. What do you mean by that? Option 2 is correct. I agree with all of you. But option 2 is not talking about anything about the dark condition because the dark reactions occur in the night time also. They are not directly light driven, which means light is present or the light is absent. The reaction takes place compulsory. Hence, the correct answer is 3. Next one. In stroma, this is also very, because statement related questions only make you always confused, friends. Stroma, enzymatic reactions incorporate carbon dioxide into the plant, leading to the ATP and NADPH formation. That is wrong, right? Friends, where the ATP and NADPH is formed, we studied in the morning class only. ATP and NADPH is always formed on the thylakoid membrane. What happens in the stroma? Every student know very well. Stroma is the region where the dark reactions takes place because all the enzymes are present, where the sucrose synthesis, where the starch synthesis will be occurred. So option 2 says that enzymatic reactions to incorporate carbon dioxide into production of sugar, which turns into starch. Obviously true statement. Option 3, light energy is captured to form the glucose. Energy production only in the thylakoid membrane. ATP and NADPH, no, they produce where? On the thylakoid membrane. They're asking the question only stroma. In the stroma, only dark reactions occur. Carbon fixation occur. Production of sucrose, production of starch will take place in the stroma. Hence, the correct answer is what, friends? Option 2. Right. Reaction center consists of, morning only we discussed, right? Reaction center. Basically, it consists of what? It consists of principal pigment. In the morning class, we very clearly studied that. What is the principal pigment? The principal pigment will be the chlorophyll A molecule. Never ever get confused with this particular point. Always remember this. Next, question number 17. This also I have explained in the morning class. Elements required for the photolysis of water, what we studied, we require 4 manganese, 4 calcium, 4 chlorine. Is it or not? These 3 are present in the, where they are present in the, they are all present in the oxygen evolving complex. All are acting as what? All are acting as the cofactors. We know very well what are cofactors. Correct answer is number 1. Now, NAD plus is getting converted to NADPH, where we already studied, friends. In case of a cyclic photophosphorylation, we are only producing the ATP. That also we know very well. So undoubtedly the answer will be what, friends? Option 2. In the non-cyclic photophosphorylation only, friends, we are going to convert the NADP plus to NADPH. Simple direct question. Photosystem 2. This also I'm going to explain in the tomorrow morning class. It's very easy. Photosystem 2 occurs in, all the students remember, photosystem 2 is located in tightly oppressed thylakoids. I will show you in the tomorrow class the diagram, you automatically understand. Tightly oppressed thylakoids, which means where all the thylakoids are tightly arranged. So there the photosystem 2 is located actually. So where the tightly oppressed thylakoids are present? On the granule lamella. So my friends, photosystem 1 is present where? On the stromal lamella. Not to get confused with that. Answer is 2. Then question number 20. The movement of electrons as per the Z scheme in the light reaction are. I told you now, friends, this is the most important one every student has to remember. They're asking, every student remember, they're asking Z scheme. Z scheme means, you tell me, how many number of photosystems are involved? Every student know very well. Photosystem 1 is involved. Photosystem 2 is also involved. So friends, they can show both uphill transport also, downhill also, according to the redox potential. Hence, the correct answer is 2 and 3. It's a very important question. Now, cyclic photophosphorylation produce, we all people know very well, it produce only energy precursor ATP. It never ever produce the reducing equivalent NADPH. Hence, what is the correct answer? Answer is ATP. Question number 22. Primary electron acceptor of PS2. Here also most of the students will make it wrong. Why most of the students make it wrong? They did not given whether it is the cyclic or non-cyclic. That is very important. Anyway, students, you know very well, in the cyclic, PS1 only present. Correct or not? In the non-cyclic only, both PS2 and PS1 is present. So if they have given the PS2, which means They are asking about only non-cyclic. So in the morning class also, I have explained it to all of you very clearly. In the non-cyclic photophosphorylation, who is the first electron acceptor? Pheophytin. Never ever confuse with this. Now, in non-cyclic photophosphorylation, PS1 is getting reduced by. That's a very important point. Obviously, from the PS2 only. Yes or no? What I told you, friends. Whatever the electrons that are lost by the PS1, who is sending that electron? Undoubtedly PS2 only, right? Finally, PC, plastocyanin, will send to the PS1. So obviously, PS1 is getting the electron from PS2 only. Answer is 1. In photosystem 1, the first electron acceptor is, here also 90% of the students will make the wrong answer. If every student remember morning lesson, from the PS1, who is accepting the first electron? Anyone remember? A0, A1, iron sulfur X, iron sulfur A, iron sulfur B, then ferridoxin, then FNR, then NADP. Correct or not? So friends, in the given question, they did not given A0. They did not given A1. Then they have given what? They have given iron sulfur protein. Correct na? Then answer will be iron sulfur protein. Suppose if they did not given iron sulfur protein also, then undoubtedly ferridoxin. So that's what you don't think that always they will ask the question with respect to the order only. No, it's not like that. They can ask in any manner. So for that reason, every student has to remember the electron flow correctly. If you remember the electron flow correctly, you can answer the question correctly. Right. I told you now, friends, every student remember, when they give the, in the question, when they give two photosystems, PS2 and PS1, always remember, my friends, it is what scheme? Z scheme. Correct na? You only listen in the Z scheme, uphill and downhill. Correct na, friends? Once again, it will be uphill. Once again, it will be downhill only. So friends, not to confuse, first PS22 electrons will move in a uphill manner, then downhill manner. Once they reach the PS1, once again uphill manner, then followed by the downhill manner. Hence, always remember this. Z scheme means uphill, downhill, uphill, downhill. Always remember like this, UD, UD. How we are measuring this uphill transport and downhill transport? Based on the redox potential. Never ever confused with this point. Based on the redox potential, based on the electron transport, we can consider that they can show the Z scheme of transport, which is the uphill, downhill, uphill, downhill. Hence, the correct answer is number 1. Now, question number 26. What, friends? PS2 and PS1 in Z scheme are connected by. In the morning class, I have explained it to all the students. This is the thylakoid membrane. And suppose this is the photosystem. And inside the photosystem, what are present? I told to all of you. Friends, LHCs are present. Inside LHC, what they contain? I told you. Inside the LHC, they contain reaction center. They contain antenna pigments. So what is the question they have asked? How does the PS2 and PS1 are connected? So friends, they will be connected via light harvesting complex. Easy to remember. Next question number 27. Which one of the following statements about the events of non-cyclic photophosphorylation is not correct? They're asking not correct. We already studied in the morning class. Photolysis of water takes place. Of course, true, right? Water breakdown compulsory occurring in the non-cyclic. Only one photosystem participate. That is wrong statement. You all people know that. In case of non-cyclic, photosystem 1 and 2 both are involved. So option B is wrong option. And in the non-cyclic photophosphorylation, ATP produced, NADPH also produced. That is also right statement. Oxygen is released. Of course, true, right? If water molecule is breaking down, undoubtedly, friends, oxygen is going to release. Yes or no? Of course, yes. Hence, what will be the answer? Option 2 will be the wrong option. Not to get confused. Easy to remember. Now, biosynthetic reactions taking place in the stroma. So you have to remember, friends, stroma means what reactions are taking place, friends? Dark reactions are taking place. Responsible for the fixing carbon dioxide and synthesis of sugar needs. What do you mean by that? They're asking if the plant want to reduce the carbon into glucose, what they require. That is the question. What they require? They require energy. Is it or not? So that energy is what? One is ATP. Another one is what, friends? NADPH. Energy equivalent, reducing equivalent. Both are required. Hence the correct answer is option 3. Now, look into the question number 29. Very interesting question. During cyclic photophosphorylation, which of the following events does not occur? Once again, every student has to remember for the exam. Cyclic photophosphorylation, how many photosystems are involved? Only one photosystem. We know it very well. And that too, which photosystem? Only PS1 is involved. Yes or no? So now what is the option? One says that electrons are transferred back to P680. This is wrong statement. First of all, P680 only not present. So option 1 is wrong. NAD plus is not available. See, it's a very logical question, friends. NAD plus is not available as an electron acceptor. Friends, NAD plus is present. But point is what? Photosystem only not present. So do not get confused with the option 1 and 2. It's a very important not to get confused with that. They are asking which do not occur, friends. Never ever get confused. NADPH will not be oxidized. Of course, that is true statement. NADPH is not available. That is only because, friends, photosystem only not there. Then what is the use of NADP? Easily you can eliminate the option. I mean to say these options are true options because there is a no presence of the P680. If P680 is present, then NADPH will be formed. They are saying NADPH is not available. True statement. NADPH will not be oxidized. True statement. Electron from photosystem 1 are not passed to the NADP plus. Of course, true. They never pass to the NADP plus. They are only involved in the synthesis of ATP. Hence, what is the event that do not occur? Electrons are never transferred back to the P680. This will be the correct answer. See, most of the students will get confused here. You always remember the differences between the cyclic and non-cyclic. Then you can answer the question very easily. Question number 30. Free energy is released in the cyclic photophosphorylation. This is also a very important question, friends. Free energy, they are asking, is released in the cyclic photophosphorylation. Not to get confused with this particular point. They are asking when the free energy is getting released. I don't know whether you remember my words or not. Morning class only I have explained you. In the cyclic photophosphorylation, first electron acceptor is ferredoxin. Second one, plastoquinone. Third one, cytochrome B6F. Fourth one, plastocyanin. What did I told to all of you? Whenever there is a movement of electron from one electron acceptor to the another electron acceptor, what is happening? You tell me, friends. It is losing the electron. It is gaining the electron. Once again, it lose the electron, it gain the electron. Once again, it lose the electron. Once again, it gain the electron. So what is happening? Oxidation and reduction reactions are taking place. So during this time only energy will be released. So what is the answer? During each of the redox reactions of electron transport chain, 90% of the students will give the answer as 1. That is wrong option. The question says that how the free energy is released, not by the formation of ATP, right? See, friends, understand the question. If you want to form the ATP, you require energy. The question asked is what? How the free energy is released during each of the redox reactions. Never ever get confused with that. Okay, now next one. When non-cyclic photophosphorylation changes to cyclic photophosphorylation, the excited electrons leaves PS1 and goes back to make more what? Simple question, right? They will go to cytochrome B6F complex. In the cytochrome B6F complex, in the morning class also I told you, cytochrome B6F complex, which is the iron-rich complex, which is involved in the what? Production of ATP by joining ADP with PI. Obviously, what is the answer? ATP formation. The answer is the number 1, not to confuse. And see this very important and interesting question. All the students remember question number 32. This kind of questions are very important, friends. Wherever you come across statement related questions, always focus on the statement related questions compulsory. ATP synthesis in the chloroplast and mitochondria is due to proton gradient across the membrane. Morning class I have explained you very elaboratively how the ATP can be synthesized by what force? PMF, proton motive force. Option A says that proton accumulates in the lumen of the thylakoid. Of course, true. I also told you splitting of water occurs on the inner side of the membrane. Of course, true. Sometimes, friends, splitting of the water occur in the lumen they will give. That is also right. Not wrong in that. Option C says that proton accumulate in the stroma side. No, right? Most of the protons accumulated in the lumen, not in the stroma. Option D, NADP reductase is located on the stromal side of the membrane. That is also right. I will show you the diagram in the tomorrow class. You will get a very good idea. Hence, A is correct, B is correct, D is correct, C is the wrong statement. Hence, the correct answer is number 4. Biosynthetic phase is called as a dark reaction. The same question repeated, right? It does not dependent on the light. That's why it occurred in the daytime. It occurred in the night time also. And anyway, dark reactions we are going to study tomorrow. But you all people study the photosynthesis many number of times. So that's why, I'm explaining all. In C4 plant, carbon dioxide combined with the PEP in the presence of, very straightforward question, right? So carbon dioxide combined by the phosphoenol pyruvate. What is phosphoenol pyruvate? Acceptor. What it is accepting? Accepting the carbon. Who is going to catalyze this particular reaction? This reaction can be catalyzed by an enzyme called as a PEP carboxylase enzyme. Hence the answer is number 1. Now, dark reactions of photosynthesis. Okay, I think the question got repeated, friends. Sorry. Now, the initial enzyme of the Calvin cycle. Every student very commonly know that. In the C3 plant, what is the most important enzyme? Rubisco. Always remember. In C4 plant, 2 enzymes are there. One is called PEP carboxylase and Rubisco. In CAM plants also same. PEP carboxylase and Rubisco. C3 plant only one enzyme is present, that is the Rubisco. So now, what is the full form of Rubisco? Ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate carboxylase oxygenase. That is the complete name. Why we are calling carboxylase oxygenase? Because, friends, Rubisco fix the carbon also, Rubisco fix the oxygen also. Never ever get confused with that point. Now, how many Calvin cycles will be required to form one hexose? What is hexose here? That is the glucose. In the tomorrow class, automatically you will understand the concept crystal clearly. All the students remember, in order to produce half glucose, the Calvin cycle has to turn 3 times. So friends, in order to produce one complete glucose molecule, Calvin cycle has to turn how many times, friends? It has to turn 6 times. Hence the correct answer is 6. Easy to remember. The carbon dioxide acceptor of the Calvin cycle. Most of the students, they will get confused between Rubisco and RUBP. Most of the students. Remember my words correctly without confusion. Rubisco is enzyme. Rubisco is what? Enzyme. What is RUBP? RUBP is carbon acceptor. Never ever get confused with that point. The question asked is who is accepting the carbon, which is ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate, which is the RUBP. RUBP is the acceptor. Rubisco is the enzyme. Never ever get confused with that point. Okay. So what will be the next and another important question? Which technique has helped in the investigation of the Calvin cycle? In the tomorrow class, we are going to study this radioactive isotope technique. And especially what kind of isotopes we have used. We have used 13 carbon dioxide and 14 carbon isotopes we used in the Calvin cycle. I want you to remember this. Answer will be the 3. In C3 plants, the first stable product of photosynthesis during the dark reaction is, every student know very well, carbon dioxide is accepted by what? RUBP. RUBP is how many carbon? 5 carbon. 5 plus 1, 6 carbon. It is getting breakdown into what? 2 molecules of 3-PGA. Phosphoglyceraldehyde. Is it or not? How many carbon it is? 3 carbon. That's why name of the pathway is called as what pathway, friends? C3 pathway, not to get confused with this particular point. So the correct answer is 1. In C4 pathway, initial carbon dioxide fixation occur in the chloroplast of which cells? See friends, everyone commonly know that. I will explain you in the lesson. C4 plant contain 2 cells because it shows the Cranch anatomy, right? Cranch anatomy contain mesophyll cell and bundle sheath cell. What happened first? First, carbon dioxide can be taken by the PEP. In the presence of PEP carboxylase enzyme, it is converting into oxaloacetic acid, which is a 4 carbon. So friends, the first carbon dioxide fixation is taking place where? Undoubtedly in the mesophyll, not to get confused. Now the next question, in C4 plants, synthesis of sugar or the final carbon dioxide. My friends, I'm telling you one point here. When they given the word final carbon dioxide fixation, every student remember, you have to consider where the Calvin cycle is happening. Because friends, in the C4 plant also Calvin cycle is common. Calvin cycle is common in every plant. So because finally Calvin cycle only the carbon will be fixed. Where the Calvin cycle occur? Undoubtedly in the bundle sheath cell. They are asking final fixation. If they asked initial fixation, then the answer is mesophyll. They are asked final fixation, which is the bundle sheath. Not to get confused. Now, the first carbon dioxide acceptor in the C4 plant, where direct question, PEP, phosphoenol pyruvate, which is a 3 carbon. Next question, C4, very good question. C4 plant shows low efficiency even in, because of the low concentration of carbon dioxide. Friends, even though carbon dioxide concentration is very low, C4 plant always fix the carbon only. They never fix the oxygen. What is the reason? Because of Cranch anatomy. Because of a bundle sheath cell, oxygen never ever enter into the bundle sheath. So even though small amount of carbon is present, C4 plant only fix the carbon. But what about the C3 plant? If the carbon dioxide is low, C3 plant will fix the oxygen because Rubisco can fix the oxygen. PEP carboxylase never fix the oxygen. So undoubtedly, friends, even though concentration of carbon is very low, they will only fix the carbon only, not to get confused. That's why C4 plants will show higher photosynthetic efficiency when compared to C3 plants. Now, photorespiration is affected by, every student know very well. I will explain you in the tomorrow class. RUBP, 5 carbon, oxygen, no carbon dioxide is there. Then what enzyme? Rubisco enzyme. It is fixing the oxygen. Correct now? Now the question is that how it is getting affected. You tell me, I told you many times. Every student remember my words. When high light intensity and high temperature, I will explain in the class, just listen. At a high light intensity, at a high temperature, carbon dioxide is completely solubilized. So no carbon dioxide is available. So what is available? Only oxygen. So when oxygen is available, then the Rubisco fix only oxygen. So if the oxygen is more available, which means that the carbon dioxide is low. So friends, photorespiration is affected by all the factors. Very important question. Temperature, light intensity, carbon dioxide, and oxygen. Hence, the correct answer is 4, all of the above, not to confuse. Now, the next question. During daytime, CAM plants procure carbon dioxide for photosynthesis from. They are asking, friends, during the, what is the question? During the daytime. First of all, during the night time, what will happen? No, night time in the camp plants. Everyone know very well. In the night time, they will store the sugar in the form of a malic acid. Is it or not? Where they will store the sugar in the form of a malic acid? In the vacuole. In the daytime, they will bring the malic acid out. They will break down into pyruvate plus carbon. This carbon once again undergo the Calvin cycle, and pyruvate can be converted into the starch. So they're asking a question during the daytime, how the camp plants are getting carbon dioxide for photosynthesis? By breakdown of malic acid. Hence the answer is 4. Cam occur in, very good question friends, where the cam pathway occur? Thin green leaves with reticulate venation? No. All the students remember friends. Cam plants means what? Not to get confused with this. What is cam plants? Which are desert plants. The plants which are growing, the plants which are belongs to a family called Crassulaceae family. Now you tell me, you have to think with common sense. What is the role of venation here? What happens if it is a reticulate venation? What happens it is a parallel venation? There is no role of venation first of all. What is the role of arranging veins here? No, right? So it doesn't matter what is the colored leaf here. The cam occur in a fleshy green leaf. That's a common. Because friends, the fleshy green leaf only containing the chlorophyll which undergo the process of photosynthesis. So cam plant has to show the photosynthesis. Answer is very straightforward. Fleshy green leaf. Not to confuse. What are the 3 stages of the Calvin cycle? Everyone know very well. First, we are fixing the carbon into what? 3-PGA. Yes or no? Later, we are reducing the 3-PGA into GA3P, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Finally, we are GA3P can be regenerated to what, friends? RUBP. In the tomorrow morning class, you'll get a good idea. So carboxylation, reduction, regeneration. Answer is the 4. Okay. Question number 49. Calvin cycle involves. Very good question. What we are doing in the Calvin cycle, you tell me. You only tell me. We are reducing the carbon into glucose. Yes or no? Of course, yes. So we are reducing it and we are removing the carbon. Is it or not? That's why we call it reductive decarboxylation. We are removing the carbon to convert into glucose. The answer is 4. Okay. Not to get confused with this, question number 50. ATP is utilized which one of the following reactions of C3 cycle? If you remember the C3 cycle, it is easy. You know, right? In the reduction also, correct na? In the regeneration also. Only in these 2 areas, we will use the ATP. So what is the reduction? Every one of you try to understand what is the reduction here. PGA is converting into bisphosphoglycerate. Not to get confused, friends, it's a very important one. I will give you in a simple words to you. First step, 3-PGA converted into GA3P. This is the reduction. Here we use the ATP. Not to confuse with that. Then what is the reduction? Reduction means GA3P can be converted into RUBP. This is what? Regeneration. So first step and 4th step. These 2 are the steps where the reduction and regeneration occur. Here ATP can be utilized. Okay. I hope everyone understand the questions very correctly. I am requesting every one of you make use of this particular PPT. I will share the PPT in the group. Compulsory, mandatorily read complete questions. Watch the complete lecture and revise the 50 questions compulsory. So from every chapter, we will solve 500 questions. Okay. That's all for today's session. We will meet in the tomorrow session. We will complete the photosynthesis. I will solve 50 more questions from the photosynthesis. By that photosynthesis only, we can cover 100 questions very easily. Thank you, all of you.